You're not broken. You're misunderstood. Right now, you're probably calling yourself lazy. You've got that project sitting on your desk for 3 weeks. That email you need to send but keep putting off. That creative idea that excites you in your head but somehow never makes it to reality. And every day that passes, the voice in your head gets a little louder. You're just lazy. You lack motivation. You don't have what it takes. But what if I told you that everything you think you know about procrastination is wrong? What if the reason you can't get started isn't because you're lazy, but because you're actually scared? And what if that fear is so buried, so disguised, that you don't even recognize it anymore? Let me introduce you to Jones. Software engineer, brilliant mind, everyone at work thinks he's got it all together. But at home, he's got a side project that's been almost ready to launch for 8 months. Every weekend, he sits down at his computer with the best intentions, opens his laptop, stares at the screen, then suddenly remembers he needs to organize his email, or clean his apartment, or research something completely unrelated for 2 hours. By Sunday night, he's calling himself lazy again. I just don't have the discipline, he tells himself. Successful people don't waste entire weekends like this. But here's what Jones doesn't realize. He's not avoiding work. He's avoiding the possibility of failing at something that matters to him. See, laziness is just fear wearing a disguise. And it's a really convincing disguise because it feels like apathy. You tell yourself you don't care enough, you're not motivated enough, you're just not the kind of person who follows through. But think about it, if you truly didn't care, would you beat yourself up about it every single day? If you were actually lazy, would you spend hours researching productivity systems and watching videos about how to get motivated? The truth is, you care so much it terrifies you. You're not procrastinating because the task is hard. You're procrastinating because the task matters. And when something matters, there's a chance you might not be good at it. There's a chance you might fail. There's a chance you might discover that you're not who you thought you were. So your brain, trying to protect you, whispers, let's just not today. Let's organize the desk first. Let's watch one more tutorial. Let's wait until we have more time, more energy, more clarity. And here's where it gets really sneaky. Most procrastination isn't about being lazy. It's about being a perfectionist in disguise. Ivana, a graphic designer, spent 3 months preparing to start her freelance business. She researched every logo design software, read every pricing guide, joined every Facebook group. She told herself she was being thorough, being professional, being smart. But really, she was terrified that her first client would discover she wasn't as good as she thought she was. So she kept preparing, kept learning, kept getting ready, because as long as she was preparing, she couldn't fail. The preparation felt productive, it felt responsible. But it was just fear with a business plan. Here's what changed everything for both Jones and Ivana. They discovered that motivation doesn't create action. Action creates motivation. We've got it backwards. We sit around waiting to feel motivated, waiting for inspiration to strike, waiting for the perfect moment when we feel ready and excited and confident. But motivation is actually the result of action, not the cause of it. Think about the last time you cleaned your room. You probably didn't wake up excited about organizing your closet. But you started with making the bed, then you picked up a few things, then you thought, well, I might as well vacuum, and before you knew it, you'd spent 2 hours deep cleaning and felt amazing. That's momentum. And momentum is the antidote to fear. So here's your new strategy, and it's so simple, it sounds almost insulting. The 2-minute rule. Any task you've been putting off, commit to doing it for exactly 2 minutes, not 2 hours, not until it's perfect. Just 2 minutes. Want to start that business? Spend 2 minutes writing down one business idea. Want to write that book? Open a document and write 1 paragraph for 2 minutes. Want to learn guitar? Pick it up and strum for 2 minutes. But that's not enough to make real progress. Your brain will protest. And your brain is right. 2 minutes isn't enough to finish anything important, but 2 minutes is enough to start. And starting is the only thing that matters. Here's the psychology behind why this works. Your brain is terrified of big, undefined tasks. Start a business feels overwhelming, impossible, loaded with potential failure. But write down one business idea for 2 minutes? That's not scary, that's just a thing you do. And here's the beautiful part. Most of the time, you won't stop at 2 minutes. Once Jones started his side project timer for 2 minutes, he'd often find himself working for 20 minutes, sometimes an hour. Not because he forced himself, but because starting removed the fear. The task wasn't this big, scary monster anymore. It was just work. Normal, doable work. Ivana started designing one logo element for 2 minutes a day. Within a week, she had her first complete portfolio piece. Within a month, she had her first client. But even if you do stop at exactly 2 minutes every time, something magical happens. You're not just making tiny progress on your project. You're rewiring your identity. You're changing from someone who never follows through to someone who shows up consistently. And once you see yourself as someone who shows up, bigger actions become possible. Not because you've developed superhuman discipline, but because you've removed the fear that was masquerading as laziness. 6 months of 2-minute sessions can transform your entire relationship with challenging tasks. Not because you've accomplished some massive project, but because you've proven to yourself that you're not the kind of person who runs away from things that matter. Here's what I need you to understand. The enemy was never laziness. The enemy was the story you told yourself about who you are. I'm the kind of person who starts things but never finishes them. I'm not disciplined enough for big projects. I'm just not cut out for this kind of work. Every time you procrastinate, you're not proving those stories true. You're just scared of proving them false. Because what if you're actually more capable than you think? What if you're actually more creative, more disciplined, more talented than the story you've been telling yourself? That's a terrifying possibility, because if it's true, then you've been holding yourself back. And if it's true, then you have no more excuses. But here's the beautiful thing about fear. Once you name it, it loses its power over you. You're not lazy. You're not unmotivated. You're not lacking discipline. You're scared. And being scared of something that matters to you isn't a character flaw. It's proof that you're human. It's proof that you have dreams worth protecting. But those dreams don't need protection. They need action. They need you to show up, even when you're scared. Especially when you're scared. So tomorrow, don't try to feel motivated. Don't wait for inspiration. Don't wait until you're ready. Just set a timer for 2 minutes and start. Drop a comment below and tell me what your 2-minute task is going to be. I'll be checking the comments, and I want to celebrate your wins, no matter how small they seem. And if this shifted how you think about procrastination, if you're ready to stop calling yourself lazy and start recognizing the fear underneath, hit that subscribe button. We're going to dive deep into the psychology of resistance, the science of momentum, and the exact strategies for turning 2-minute starts into life-changing transformations. Remember, you're not broken, you're not lazy, you're just scared, and that's okay. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's action in the presence of fear. Your 2 minutes start now.